trainings tonight.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Mike Holt over at J&B Insurance in Texas. I'm going to train you guys on how to run an auto insurance quote in our Easy Lynx Webrater. What a Webrater is, if you did not know, it is a software we use online that we log into, and it allows us to simultaneously run multiple insurance companies for a client at once to figure out what the best clients are going to be. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the top left-hand corner, and we're going to create a new applicant. I know you guys can't see some of the screen, so I'm going to have to walk you through it. If you go to the top left-hand corner where I'm at right now, you'll see that the option to create a new applicant. All right, so let's do that right now. And today, our driver is a Miss Lisa Brown. I'm going to go through this very quickly to keep it simple, okay? So we're going to type in Lisa, and we're going to use all caps. And the reason we use all caps is we can type quickly, because most likely if we're doing our job marketing, we're doing our job building relationships, we got 5 more people waiting for us. So let's get Miss Lisa in the system super fast so we can get on to the next client. But what's going to be important is not just to get her in fast, quickly, but make sure we get her in accurately, all right? So let's go to the rating state. You see we have all 50 states here, and Texas is our state. Some of you guys will be writing outside of Texas. Some of y'all will be in Texas, and y'all will be writing for clients outside of our state lines, right? It's in Mississippi, Alabama, California, New York, wherever. We'll worry about that road when we get to it. It's an option to the company we work with, okay? But for right now, most of us are based in Texas. We're going to be focused on working with Texas clients, all right? Lead source. These are the people who introduce you to the client. It could be through advertising. It could be through advertising. It could be through advertising. It could be through Facebook. It could be through events. It could be through church. It could be through the Boy Scouts. It could be through I don't care. Just go out and meet people and get clients. Because the more clients you meet, the more cars you pass out, the more likely you have a chance to get some business, okay? It won't be a guarantee, but it's part of the process. So for the purpose of this exercise, our lead source is going to be Let's go with Google, just for giggles, all right? Let's say somebody Googled us and decided to give us a call. And we were ready to go, we got the information, now we're going to quote it. All right, customer sense, since this is a new client, let's go ahead and let's use today, which is May the 6th, all right? Now we're going to skip quote templates, but at some point, I will be setting up quote templates, or when you get your own login, you set up quote templates. And the quote templates are to save you time. The reason I avoid them starting off because the guys want you to focus on quoting accurately and getting all information and not taking any shortcuts. And I'm afraid if we start relying too much on the templates, it won't be quite to what we need to be. So let's create a new applicant. We got Lisa in the system. All right. So everything is highlighted in red are things that's going to be important to fill out. All right. We got female, a date of birth. Is going to be for information. Lisa is somebody that we've made up for training purposes. Lisa is not a real driver, so we're not using somebody's information to demonstrate. This is somebody that we came up with. We're going to make her single because married would be a little bit extra work, and I want to get through this very, very quickly. We're going to say that Lisa works in banking, finance, real estate, occupation. Let's make her an administrative assistant. Let's say she's been doing so for 10 years. And in real life, we answer all these questions. SSN stands for Social Security number, and I got my cursor running over right here. The finger is blinking right there. We worry about that, the SSN, mostly in tax services, not so much of insurance services, but for your information, some companies will quote you better when you have a Social Security number. All right. Let's not worry about maiden name right now, nickname. Let's go ahead and put our driver's license number on here. And let's go ahead and put our driver's license down. Our state is Texas. Let's get that filled out. When you see red, you see arrows, that means that's places that are mandatorily they need to be filled out. Super important. So let's get our address set up real quick. 2464 Sage down. I don't think I should use this address for something telling me dollars and donuts. This is where somebody actually lives at. If it is, and I forgot, y'all, please pardon me. The county is going to be Harris County. Time and address, we're going to say 10 years now. In real life, Let's validate this. In real life, guys, okay, this address isn't valid, all right? We're gonna see if we can skip this. Golly. In real life, which is going to be very, very important, is to realize that you need as much accurate information as you can for testing purposes. All right, we're going to say this address anyway because we can't validate because it's not an actual address. You guys get the point. Phone number is asking what kind of type. Man, I tell people all the time, get as much information as you can. So if somebody has multiple phone numbers, let's say it's mobile, office number, cell number, get all those numbers so you never know. We need to talk to somebody, have to ask somebody some questions. So you want these numbers on deck, right? Email address, let's go with Lisa Brown at yahoo.com. Contact mode, we use mobile phone. Contact time. And man, if I deal, I want you guys making these questions up. I want you to ask people, hey, what's your best contact time? How many phone numbers you got? You have an email address also? And so on, so on. Let's look at the bottom. We have save. And watch where the finger's at, the cursor. Save and go to auto. Save and go to homeowner. Save and go to dwelling fire. Okay, in this case, we're going to auto. And we'll come back in a couple of days and show you guys how to set up a home quote. But for right now, we'll keep it very, very simple. And we're going to put you on auto. You're most likely going to write more auto than anything else. So we hit save and we're going to auto. No quote template. No quote template. We're going to continue. Auto application complete at the very top right here, in case you guys can see. Policy info right here, carriers for rating auto. These are all our different companies that we use. All these companies, they're going to be ran right next to each other, carrier to carrier, to determine the best quote for the client. Description, this is going to be a training quote. Let's leave that right here in case you're working with somebody on your version, Easy Lynx, and they want to come back and they want to help you with the quote, finish out the quote, maybe provide more information. With that being said, you need to have some type of information there to make sure if you guys are working in teams, you're all working together. All right. As a rule of thumb, if you see something that needs to be, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
Yes, sir. Pardon me. Yeah, if you guys see, pardon me, guys, somebody just walked in. If you see somebody who's, let me lock that door better yet, because they have no business doing that. If you guys, pardon me, one thing about this program, when you see arrows, these little red arrows, that means it's mandatory information. All right, I'm gonna stress this. I'm gonna say this multiple times. Quote right the first time. Let's say we know we made Lisa up, so let's say Lisa has no prior insurance. All right, this is to kind of save times and get you guys in the right habits, right from the get-go. No prior insurance, no prior insurance, no prior liability limits, which is liability insurance. Reason doesn't really matter, but the most common reason people might come in and not have insurance if they have not owned or operated vehicles. So let's just click that reason. Yeah, we want to credit check and we want to authorize underwriting reports. New policy term, 6 months or a year. It just depends. Most of our companies, all of them do 6-month policies on the auto side. Some of them do full year also. I go to 6-month deal because it gives you kind of more of a variety of options. But when you have certain clients you might rate well with a certain company like Allstate, for instance, we know they do year policies. We go back in there, if we got it fixated, we might think they might be a premier Allstate client. We'll do 12-month policies on. When I say we're doing policies, that means we're running estimates that are going to be specific for that company. Because we know that company, we're doing estimates for companies we feel that we have a higher rate of placing our clients in with, meaning that they have the most value for our clients. And we'll get to that a little while later. But long story short, to answer that question, Allstate does not take does not like to take insured or clients who do not have prior insurance. So that automatically kind of takes them out of Allstate, which you know the 12-month company, which is why I'm going to 6-month companies. Package, we're going to say no. Package is going to be bundled. And that means they're going with multiple lines of insurance, not just auto. It could be auto and home. It could be auto and dwelling, auto and renters, and these different combinations. So the point that I'm trying to make is what you want to do is you want to make sure you get try to do your best job, to quote accurately, and make sure you get to put your client in front of the products you think are going to be best for them after you finish interviewing them. Let's go on to the next screen. I'm clicking on driver info right now. We're keeping it simple. If she was married, well, she's not, she's single, we would click in our driver and our husband. But for the purpose we're doing right now, we're not going to bother with that. A lot of these questions were asked on an earlier field, in case you haven't noticed. Banking, finance, assistant, job, driver license number. I always miss something here. Look for things that have red stars or red arrows. That's very, very important, okay? And we don't see any of that right here. So and these questions are answered on a prior screen. So let's go into vehicles. We don't have the VIN number right now. So what we're going to do, wait a minute, we do have a VIN number. Let's just add this VIN. You know what? We're not going to have a VIN number. Right now we're going to year, make, and model. Okay? Which for the purpose of exercise is 2017 Kia Sorento. And you guys look and tell, you see that all of these arrows are kind of pointing out. You have these arrows and red stars, that means they're mandatory fields. And if you miss one of these fields, don't freak out. You'll come back in, and what you will do is you'll come back in and you will answer these questions when prompted to. Anti-theft, alarm only, unless they have some type of system we don't know about. Everything else is kind of indicative or normal to the vehicle as far as the passive restraints, anti-lock brakes. Sometimes they come back and ask you to verify this. Gainesco has a question. They want to know how long the vehicle has been registered in your name. For this purpose exercise, we'll say 1 to 2 years. We use multiple carriers on the auto side, same with homeowners. They're all going to have the individual questions they want to ask. To make sure you get the correct quote in the system for these guys, please pay attention to those questions they're asking. All right, so we make sure we get the right quote information down. Pleasure. It's going to be commute. She's going back and forth to work. Now, I'm going to go by something really quick so you'll hear from me first. Business. If somebody's using this vehicle specifically for business or farming, please make sure that you note that and quote appropriately. That puts them with the right company. You do not want to have somebody using a personal vehicle for business and not account for that. Most specifically, people who are Uber drivers, people who are Lyft drivers, because if you don't quote the insurance properly and you don't insure them properly, they can have a claim in the course of conducting business not be covered properly, and that would be our fault, and that would cause problems for a lot of different people, and you don't want to do that. Even if the rate comes higher and they beg you to get them a cheaper rate, it is better to quote it correctly. Performance, in this case, is going to be a standard, but if it's a sports or high performance type performance, we need to know. Current odometer is not necessary, but for the sake of exercise, we're going to say that so far it's 23,000 miles plus in the car. Was the car selected new? It's not a mandatory question, but it was not new. This car was used. They had it for a couple of years already. Ownership type, we missed that. Own, leased, or lien. Own means it's paid off. Lease means it's leased. Lien means that they're financing it, okay? Know the difference between leased and lien, and if you got questions, ask somebody in the office or ask the client. Incidents. For the purpose of this exercise, we're going to say this client has had